Hi, this is a video tutorial about the controls palette in LabVIEW. The controls palette lets you put in different inputs and outputs that you want in your UI. The basic LabVIEW package comes with three subpalettes. That is the modern subpalette, the system subpalette, and the classic subpalette. The modern subpalette gives you the largest variety of controls and indicators that you can have with your version of LabVIEW. It has the highest resolution and color as well as the largest number of options. The system subpalette provides primitive controls that are compatible with the previous version of LabVIEW. The classic subpalette is a compromise between the modern and the system subpalette. In this tutorial, we will be discussing the controls and indicators present in the modern subpalette. In the modern subpalette, we have several types of controls and indicators which have been classified according to the data they allow us to enter into our UI. So you've got one for numeric data, another for Boolean data, one for string, arrays, metrics, etc. In this video, we are going to talk about numeric, Boolean, and the string controls and indicators. We're going to start off with the numeric subpalette, as it is called. The numeric subpalette allows us to put in numeric controls and indicators and observe numeric quantities. As you can see here, these come in several shapes. You got the simple numeric control, in which you can enter numbers by just typing into them. So I can say a random number like this. You can validate your data in any type of control by clicking the tick that you've got over here, or you can also do that by pressing the enter on the numeric keypad. For this control, you can also change the values by using the increment and decrement button. You've also got a corresponding numeric indicator, and I'm going to pull that on. I'm going to pull it into the front panel to show it to you. This numeric indicator can be used to observe numeric outputs. One thing that I would like you guys to note here is that the background of the numeric indicator has a dark shade in it, as opposed to the bright white you can see in the numeric control. If you want to display large numbers on your numeric control, then you can expand it. If the number that you got exceeds the range of the numeric control, then you can change its representation. You can do this by going to the shortcut menu by right clicking on the numeric control, going to representation. Here you can see we've got 15 different representations. The default representation for this type of control is double precision. So say if I needed a very large number, then I could make it say to the quad integer. This can be verified from the content itself. When you bring your cursor over into the numeric control, you can see that I've got the data type shown over here. There are several other ways that you can input or observe numeric data. You got several pictorial numeric controls as well, such as the slides. We got 4 different types of slides. We got the vertical fill slide, the vertical pointer slide, the horizontal fill slide, and the horizontal pointer slide. Values in these slides can be changed by just clicking in the middle if you want and dragging the cursor up and down. This is also true for the pointer slides. You can click in the middle, or you can just drag the pointer up and down. You can change the range of the slides by clicking on the scale. Say for example, if I want to change the maximum value of the slide, then I can double click on the maximum value. You can type in 100 for example, and then press the enter. You can see that the value just increased from 10 to 100. I can increase the precision by increasing the size of the slide. There you go. I can do this with the horizontal slides as well. One can also change the colors of the fill. You can do this by using the shortcut menu, by going into properties, and you can change the color of the fill. Say for example, I want this to be red color. You got several other pictorial numeric controls and indicators, such as the knob, the dial, meter, and the gauge. These are known as rotary controls. One good thing about the rotary controls as well as slides is that you can add additional needles or scales. Also for the gauge, if I want to have an extra needle, I can do that using the shortcut menu by right clicking on the control itself and clicking on add needle. Now if you look at the context help, then you can see that since I've created a new needle on it, it is not a simple numeric control, and it becomes a cluster. Cluster is something that will be discussed later on. The remaining controls that we got in the numeric subpalette is the tank and the thermometer, which are very similar to the slides that we just discussed. So you can just change the values like you did in the vertical and horizontal slides. You've also got the horizontal and vertical scroll bars. These are numeric controls as well, and you can just change the values by scrolling it up and down. You also got the frame color box that outputs a different number for every color that you choose. Then the other subpalette we can discuss is the Boolean subpalette, and for doing that I'll just clear up my front panel. There you go. The Boolean subpalette lets you put in Boolean controls and indicators, that is true or a false logic. Again, like the numeric subpalette, you got several shapes of Boolean controls, such as the push button, the rocker switch, the toggle switch, slide switch. You also got special buttons such as the OK, cancel, and stop button, but since these are usually used in structures, we can discuss them later on. For observing Boolean outputs, you can use LEDs, and you got two of those types available, the round LED and the square LED. Normally they have a green color, but like the numeric slides, we can change their color by using the shortcut menu like this, and you can have different colors for its on state, that is a true state, and its false state. There you go. And another type of Boolean control are the radio buttons. The radio buttons is a special type of Boolean control that outputs a number depending on whether you've got radio selection 1 checked or radio selection 2. The next subpalette that we're going to discuss is a string and path subpalette. So before doing that, I'm going to clear the front panel again. The string and path subpalette lets you enter alphanumeric data. So you got three basic types of controls over here. You got the simple string control, in which you can enter your data, alphanumeric data. The data entry procedure is the same. You can either click outside the control itself, or you can click on this tick, or you can just press the enter key on the numeric keypad. You got a corresponding string indicator, and where you can observe alphanumeric output. One thing that I want to mention over here is that you can interchange between a control and an indicator by using the shortcut menu. So you could just right click on the control indicator, and you can click on change to control for the indicator, and you can change it back to an indicator by right clicking on it and clicking on change to indicator. The other type of control that we got in the string and parser palette is the combo box. The combo box allows us to make drop down lists. You can do that by using the shortcut menu by right clicking on the control and going to edit items. Here you can enter the data that you want in your drop down list. So I can either click on insert and say I can type in A, click on insert again, I can type B for the next data, click on insert again, and C. In order to validate this entry, I need to click outside the data entry area and alright. As you can see that you can have different values coming out for your selection items. By default you've got the values match items option selected, so if I click over here, then I could have, say for C, I could have the number 3, since it's a third letter in the alphabet. For B, I could have, say 02 being put out, and for A, I could have 01. One thing that I would like to mention over here is that this alphanumeric data that will be put out. Now you can see that I have double clicked outside the data entry area. You see that you got 2 data entry options over. So what I'll do is that I'll click over here and I'll delete, and I'll select this and I click on delete. So in order to validate my data, I'm going to click on OK. Alright. When I click on the drop down button over here, you can see that I've got C, B, and A. So whatever I click over here, the corresponding value is going to come out. We're going to work with combo box later on. Another thing that you can do is you can change the sequence of the data you entered. So say if I wanted A to be my first item on the list, so I would click on move up twice, and if I want my alphabets to be in the correct order, then I could do the same with B, and then by clicking on OK, I can validate my data again. Alright. Another thing that I need to mention about string data is that you can have several representations. Like in the numeric data type, you have different precision available. Over here you can have several types of display. This by right clicking on the control. As you can see that by default we got a normal display on. We can move to the special character code display, and in order to demonstrate how it works, I'm going to change the date. I'm going to press and enter from the keyboard. As you can see that as soon as I validate the data code, I get the special character code for the enter key. I can also convert this display into the password display, which basically puts an asterisk in place of every character in your data. Or I can also convert it to the hex display, which displays the ASCII code in hexadecimal format. There you go. The last control and indicator that you got in the string and parser palette is the file path control and the file indicator control. The path control lets you give the path of various files that you would like to use in your lab view. That's it for this video.